Welcome back, Survivors. It's Shay1 here. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to find literally every single wyvern egg spawn location in the game. We're just going to go over all of this. This is kind of like a part 2 video to my wyvern guide. In that video, I teach you how to level your wyverns, how to PvP with them, how to tame them, and much more. So please be sure to check that out because you're definitely going to learn a lot of stuff that you will not. But now let's get right into the video. Alright, so the first den we're going to go over is the Scorched Earth Den. Right, you can find it at these coordinates in this location on the map. About 34 latitude and 16 longitude, you'll find this den. This is easily the worst one in the game. You could find the original 3 fire, lightning, and poison in this den. The reason why this den is the worst one in the game is because typically these dens are just empty. Like, there's not a lot of wyvern eggs in here, and the ones that you do find are really bad level. Alright, the next den is going to be over here on Valguero, right at 10 latitude and 74 longitude, and you're going to see this big old den. Right, this is an ice and fire wyvern den that you can find. The levels here are pretty solid. You could find some I found a lot of really high levels. I'd probably give it like a medium rating, and it's also very easy to run because ice wyverns are just generally not that dangerous. So if you're looking for an easy egg run, this is the one I would highly recommend, or Fjordur, but we'll get into that. However, if you go down below, this den, the fire wyvern den, is completely different. Okay, the levels are good, but it's very hard to run this because it's not very hard to run it, but there's a lot of wyverns down here, typically fire wyverns, and you're kind of down below, so it takes a lot of stamina out of your PT to get down here. And there's just generally not a lot of fire wyvern eggs that spawn down here, so it's just not all that nice because you're already low when you come down here. You have to dive through the your staminas are low when you come down here. Not a lot of eggs, and you gotta search through this whole thing, and then you gotta fly all out. So it's a little bit more difficult, but very rewarding if you can get a nice little fire wyvern egg. So overall, easy to run, medium levels, good amount of eggs. So overall, this den has, this den's fairly easy to run. It has pretty good levels and solid amount of. Overall, this den is really easy to run. It has fairly good levels, and it also has a lot of eggs that spawn, so that's pretty nice. Alright, so the next den that we have is at Ragnarok, and that's going to be 70 latitude and about 42 longitude. You're going to see like these big rocks and like all this water and stuff nearby. And right underneath this waterfall, you can just kind of sneak yourself into this wyvern den. Now, this wyvern den is not easy to run and is not very rewarding because there is not a lot of egg spawn locations and there's a lot of damn wyverns. But I will say the levels are pretty fair. They're pretty solid, pretty good levels on this map that you'll find. Okay, it's definitely not like Scorched Earth. So next. So it is worth to note you can also find ice wyverns on this map on Ragnarok, but you're going to find them in the Murder Snow. It's actually where ice wyverns were introduced. They're a lot more rare. One location is right here at 33.6, 68.8. Just sitting here kind of next to this log. It'll be sitting like right here. So the next egg location is going to be at 46. The next egg location is going to be at 46.8, 51.5, and it's going to sit right here. Okay, kind of next to like the desert. It's going to be like literally sitting right here. The next location is at 42.8, 55.2. Okay, this is the location on the map, and this is kind of what it looks like. It's going to spawn right here, just to kind of go up a little bit, not far from the other location. The next location is going to be at 44.4 and 58.8. The next location is going to be at 44.4 latitude and 58.8 longitude, and here I am on the map. It's going to spawn right here on like this little circle thing, right next to Alpha Pillar right next to Alpha Plateau in the Redwoods. So yep, here is just a kind of surrounding view. And the last and final location is going to be at 37.6, 65. The last and final location is to be at 37.6 latitude and 65.2 longitude, and it's going to spawn right here on this like little like thing is the best way to put it, and just kind of go straight up. It is also like just a little bit more north of Alpha Pillar, just to kind of give you guys a surrounding. So those eggs are definitely some of the easiest in the game to grab, but the least rewarding because they tend to be very, very low level, very spread out, and very rare to find. Okay, so the next is going to be the main Wyvern Trench. So next location we're going to talk about is going to be the main Wyvern Trench on Ragnarok, and that you could find this at 26.4 latitude, 61 longitude. Alright, this thing is absolutely massive and has the fire, poison, and lightning wyverns, so it's very, very nice. Has a bunch of good wyverns. The levels in here are pretty solid. The problem is it's very hard to run because, as you can see, there is a lot of dragons, and lightning wyverns and poison wyverns make it very difficult. A lot more harder to run than fire and ice. Okay, because they literally have absolute aimbot. One of the other big problems about this den is the fact that the eggs are very, very far spread out. Level 47, I guess we'll take that. But the eggs are really far spread out, and so that's not good. Not a lot of egg spawns in here, but there's a bunch of high levels, and it is a very big cave. And as you can see, this thing is just absolutely massive. Not a lot of eggs relative to its size, but definitely you can get some really good wyverns here for sure. Just a little annoying to run due to all the wyverns and the lightning and poison having aimbot. Alright, so the next one is over on Lost Island at 35 latitude and 40 longitude. Here I am on the map. Okay, this is the Ice Wyvern Den. Very, very easy to run. Highly recommend if you just want a wyvern. Not much dangers here. Ice Wyvern is, not very scary. Not a lot of eggs, but pretty solid level, so that's nice. Alright, so the next egg is over here at 26 latitude and 59.5 longitude. Okay, so the next den that we're going to talk about is the main Lost Island den at 26 latitude and 60 longitude. It's in the lava, and it spawns fire, lightning, and poison. It's pretty difficult to run due to the poison and lightning wyverns. It's not nearly as hard as Ragnarok. There's not a lot of eggs that spawn in here, but when you do find an egg, it is generally a pretty solid level. But, ARC players like to take them all, so. Which is well deserved after getting aimbotted by a lightning wyvern 3 times in a row. So, alright, so we have just entered the last and final map, which is Fjordur, which is the best map for getting wyverns in the game. Okay, there's a specific den for each type of wyvern: fire, lightning, ice, and poison. Okay, so here we are at 95 latitude and 74 longitude in Midgard, right? Just the standard part of the map. And on this little island next to the Desmo Cave right over there, there's these fire wyverns that spawn, and there's a bunch of eggs that spawn in here, and the levels on this map are just always generally going to be really, really solid. And this is one of the easiest ones to run in the game, by the way, so if you're wanting to go for your first wyvern, I'd probably recommend this one. Alright, so the next 3 realms, okay, so the next 3 dens, you're going to have to go to different realms. If you don't know how to get to different realms, you go through this portal room, which is next to this big yellow rock in the middle of the map on these coordinates. Fly in here. You don't have to be any level, and you just go bada boom, bada bing. Okay, so the first one we're going to check out is Vanaheim, which is home to the Poison Wyvern. Alright, so we are at the Poison Wyvern Den at 50 latitude and 64.5 longitude. Right here I am on the map in Vanaheim. Okay, it is worth to note in all of the realms, you cannot take a flyer. So you're going to have to use something like a Maywing or a Bloodstalker to get inside of here. And I would not recommend a Desmo. Definitely Bloodstalkers, a high health Bloodstalker or Maywing is the way to go. Right, and as you can see, this is home to the Poison Wyverns. Every single one of these dens is going to be poison wyverns, so that is absolutely phenomenal. You can pick what, wyvern you want to get. And the levels here are generally pretty good. I know that was a low level at level 25, but the levels here are pretty good, and it is generally filled with eggs at these. So it is definitely the best, but a lot more endgame to get these egg wyverns to run these dens. Alright, so we just entered in Asgard right there, and you're going to want to go to this green little skeleton thingy, and then there's going to be a waterfall at its mouth. At the waterfall, you look to the left, and then boom, there's the Lightning Wyvern Cave. Arguably the best den, because Lightning Wyvern is OP. Okay, and to run this cave, I would highly recommend that you set up a little pillbox or something to kill all of these wyverns, because Lightning Wyvern is going to aimbot you, and if you try running this with a Maywing or a Bloodstalker, you're going to be crying. You're going to actually be crying. So I'd really recommend to set up just a little pillbox with 2, 3, 4 turrets to kill these wyverns, then go run all the eggs. Okay, if it's not allowed on your server, then that's tough. Okay, but yeah, as you can see, really good levels in here. My server's kind of jacked, level 26, but on most servers you'll play on, you're going to find a bunch of levels. There's not a lot of spots, but the spots that are here are generally like filled, like since there's so many wyverns and not so many eggs spots. So that is nice. Alright, the next den is going to be in Jotunheim. Okay, so next den is going to be the Ice Wyvern den, which you're going to find in Jotunheim. So let's head over there now. Alright, so you can find this at 65 latitude and 32 longitude in Jotunheim, right underneath this big little spear thingy, like kind of facing forward from the dragon. And you just want to go straight down into this like little like desert crack looking almost thing, and you're gonna find some ice wyverns in here. Again, all these wyverns on Fjordur are generally a pretty solid level. There's not a lot of eggs in here, but they will all be ice wyverns. And this is generally pretty easy to run. You can just lure the ice wyverns out and bada boom, bada bing. But I'd never recommend to do this, because you can literally go get ice wyverns on Valguero much easier than this, since you have to have like a Maywing or a Bloodstalker. And plus, there's a lot more that spawn on Valguero as well. So that's pretty much it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, please leave a like and subscribe, because that means the absolute world to me. Currently on a mission to reach like 500 subscribers. We're like nearly at 440, so just means a lot. All the support that I've been getting just means an absolute lot. And like I said before, if you want to go check out my wyvern guide that I just posted, this is kind of like a part 2 video, go do that now. But yeah, peace out, and may God bless you all.